Ahoy, mateys! Welcome to Conspiracy Crypto Pirates episode 20. We made it to 20.
We did.
Did you know that only like 1% of podcasts make it to 20?
Didn't know the 1%. I knew
Yeah.
it's very small.
Very small percentage. Or maybe it's 0.1%. One of those. I'll take 0.1%. We're in the top echelon of podcasts. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Please comment, like, subscribe, smash that like button and that bell.
Unfortunately, we're not in the top 1% on the finances, though. Well, we may be just because we're Americans.
So we are.
But
We are the number one podcast in the world.
for conspiracy,
Today.
cryptos, and pirates.
Exactly. Did you know that 7-Eleven, this is hilarious, 7-Eleven came out with a new drink.
No, I didn't.
It's called hot dog water.
Did they get this from Monsters, Inc.?
Right? I saw a video of somebody trying it because I don't have the stomach to try it. Their face was classic. They were drinking it and they're just like, it tastes smoky. And like I'm just picturing like boiled hot dogs like in water, you know? And oh man.
Like drinking the pickle juice.
Yeah.
Just like straight vinegar.
I think I'd rather drink pickle juice than hot dog water. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of pickles, but
Yeah. Well, I was actually just watching this interesting video over in, I think it was Asia,
okay.
but you could grab a Coca-Cola or something like that, and then they put it on this freezer. I think you put it upside down as a glass bottle with a metal cap.
Oh, okay.
Put it on like a little freezer or whatever, and
Yeah.
it'll ding when it's done, and
Okay.
then it'll put it to the perfect temperature that when you pour it into your glass, it will be a slushy.
No way.
I was like, that is cool.
That is cool. You know what you can do right now? So if you get like a Coca-Cola and you put it in your freezer for about 30 minutes,
Okay.
45 is pushing it, but about 30. And it won't blow at 45. It's just it'll get a little bit too hard.
Okay.
So it's still liquid form.
Mhm.
And then you have like a glass cup with ice in it. And then when you're pouring, pour it in a circular motion like that, and it slushes up.
Interesting.
Yes, I do that
You
frequently.
heard it here.
I know, right? Try it, guys. Try it and tell me how it is down below.
Right. My luck is I'd put it in the freezer for 30 days
Yeah.
and be like, oops, I
Yeah.
forgot about that one.
You can't forget about it. You put a reminder on your phone or something.
Right?
But
Is that what that's for?
yeah, Siri can only set one timer at a time. It's my Coca-Cola timer. Oh no, that's funny. I was reading this one article and they were talking about a new aircraft that's like a luxury cruise airplane.
Interesting.
And so like I was reading the specs on it and I'm like, is that real? There's no way. But so it can hold 5,000 passengers.
What?
Yeah.
And it's luxurious, not like pack them in like sardines?
Supposedly because it has luxury amenities like
Maybe on the top floor. The bottom floor is where I'd be at.
well, it has pools, spas, and a bowling alley.
It's like a cruise ship, but
Yeah.
a cruise plane?
Yeah, that's what they're going off of.
What?
Long duration flights.
Are you sure this isn't a blimp?
They showed a picture. So the picture, I have no idea if it was an AI rendering of it. I'll have to
Okay.
look for like the shorts. I'll do like
Yeah.
deep dive. But like it was huge. It was this massive airplane. Like imagine like a 747 on steroids, but like biplane status.
Yeah.
But anyway, it has long duration flights. It claims the aircraft will have the ability to fly for a month without needing to land.
Where are they getting the ability to do that unless they have some sort of information that they're not giving us, like they have the
The nuclear
yeah,
what is it? Not fission.
Yeah.
Fusion fission. I get
One
it
of
mixed
those.
up. But tickets available. Tickets for this exploratory flight is supposed to go on sale this summer.
how like is it one of these like Elon Musk Cybertruck things
That's
where
what
you
I'm
gotta wait
wondering.
like 5 years?
That's what I'm wondering. I don't know if it's like a pre-ticket thing. I have no idea how much these tickets are. Are they $1 million a ticket and they're
Right?
selling?
Or they're just rolling out.
Yeah.
Does it hover? Like, what are you going
No.
to do? Fly around the Earth for 30
month?
days?
Well, and I was thinking, I would rather be on a cruise ship hanging out for 30 days or
Mhm.
less than on an airplane. Like,
Yeah.
airplanes
Well, I
great
guess
for
falling
travel.
overboard is a little different.
Yeah. Because, like, it would be nice, I'll admit, if you're doing a long flight from around the world, like to, US to Europe,
Yeah.
and you're on this big old spacious thing and you're just, hanging out, that would be comfortable. But I
Mhm.
wouldn't want to be on it for more than that 14-hour flight or whatever it is.
Right.
But
Or you can actually get up and walk.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
So like I feel like
Even if it took you like twice as long to get there, you have your own like little cabin that you can kind
Yeah.
of sleep in or whatever.
right, entertainment like a movie theater,
Mhm.
like which seems ridiculous when you think about it.
Pool, a spa.
Well, yeah, this has a pool, a spa, bowling alley or whatever. And I'm like, man, calm it down a little bit. Make it a little smaller, make it spacious. You can walk around.
Mhm.
Have a couple different theaters. You could have more than one. Imagine that.
Right.
And then like make it it doesn't have to be luxury, but it could be tolerable.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah.
Well, yeah, and me, the cheapskate, it's like, oh, you can go bowling for $50. $50? Oh,
You
you
mean-
can watch a movie for an extra. Like, I'm not even paying for extra
Yeah.
internet on the flight. I already downloaded everything I could possibly need, and hopefully it works.
So you would be the only one just in your seat still. With
No, I'd get up and
cramped leg
walk
space.
around.
That's an extra $10.
Oh, no.
So what happens? I'm curious on like a massive cruise airplane. What happens when the seatbelt light comes on? Like, when you're flying, it always dings.
Go to the nearest. Maybe it flies so slowly, like a blimp, that
Maybe
it,
turbulence doesn't affect it.
right?
Or maybe it's so big it is turbulence.
The clouds are shaking.
Yeah. Everything's getting out of its way. Oh man, that's crazy.
Well, I know before 9/11 happened that the companies were trying to downsize their planes and have smaller planes to go to specific locations so they'd have more flights and quicker flights for
Ooh.
people.
I like that.
Instead of having you go to this big terminal and to this big terminal, and then you go to your final destination. It was very like targeted.
Ooh.
And then 9/11 happened, and then you had that 2 to 3 hour wait to get through TSA,
Yeah.
and then that kind of put everybody back into the
Right.
big plane.
Well, and air travel just in general, I feel like it's one thing in society that hasn't really innovated or changed in the last, really since it started, since they've like let.
Well, they have. You do realize, you were talking about this earlier. I learned this from you. Boeing has innovated their building techniques to make it worse, and then United has taken it to the next level and not done the proper maintenance and had doors fly off.
They're reusable these days.
Innovated. Not in the way we want, but innovated. Makes good news stories. Just imagine if all the news story was, and all the flights landed safely.
Or what if there was
That'd be
zero
it.
news stories?
Right? Then we
would
wouldn't
like
be
that.
needed.
Yeah.
Right?
I just meant zero news stories about airplanes or like air travel because nothing ever.
Then who would
happened.
know how to fly? Like,
Yeah.
we wouldn't even know it'd be an option if there was no news about it.
Right.
But since there's a bad news every once in a while, oh, plane landed in the Hudson.
Yeah.
Oh,
And now we
oh,
gotta.
flying's an option. I like to do that.
But now, see that the Hudson
Mm-hmm.
thing that created a new American hero.
Yeah, we need heroes.
Yes. And now, who do you think Batman's right hand man is?
Yeah.
Sully.
What was? Remember they made a movie about
That's that story.
a captain that got captured on a boat.
Oh yeah. With
Yeah.
I was gonna say Tom Cruise, not Tom Cruise. Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Woody.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I remember when it happened, and we're like, ooh, like, and he became a hero.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, like you did heroic, like you went and had your other guy stay. Good for you. Like,
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah.
Way to be a captain. Like, that's all great. But like the SEAL Team 6, I mean, they come in, they're just like, oh, I'll just sit on an aircraft carrier about a mile back. We can barely see that thing. You know that dot? Yeah. Can we have a couple snipers and as a boat's doing this and that boat's doing this, and you're all trying to line up at the same time, and then you like fire, boom, and you only have one person standing at the end of it. Like, I'm like, hey, pretty good job.
Yeah.
Like the timing and coordination and the accuracy of everything that went into that
Right.
was like spot on.
Well, which just proves the point that the Earth isn't round.
You're on an aircraft carrier.
A mile out though.
Yeah,
But-
if you're standing, you can see like 20, supposedly.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
And you're on
Well-
an aircraft carrier that's probably like,
And bullets drop over a distance, so that goes for the curvature.
yes.
I'm having too much fun. But going back to the just air travel, it was like we had the Wright brothers in the before 30s, like early 1900s.
Good thing the Left brothers didn't invent airplanes.
So we have like 1900, 1912, 19 whatever, right?
Okay.
Airplane invented. World War I was,
The 20s?
I think, at the later end. But yeah, sure. And we've got shoebox aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
And then 30s and 40s.
The biggest invention, like what made planes lethal,
Uh-huh.
was someone brought a revolver and was like, because the planes, they would just fly next to each other
Yeah.
and they would wave to each other and be like, oh, we're just collecting information. One guy's like, boom!
And then it goes right into his plane. So-
But, I mean, just think about that. And then you have like maneuvers where they try and evade each
Yeah.
other, like the biplanes.
Yeah.
Like you're
Well,
flying at
Snoopy.
like 20 miles an hour and you're just like doing all these weird flips.
Yeah. As these bullets would rip through fabric.
Right.
That's crazy. But anyway, so you have like 20s, World War I,
Mhm.
shoeboxes with wings. And then you get 40s with like, you have your World War II aircraft, which is like P-52 Mustangs, which
the Spitfire,
Yeah.
the Zero.
like exponentially better. Like,
Yeah. I mean, and then you had, like we talked about, the B-52 bomber and all the
Yeah.
technology that went into that,
Mhm.
like billions of dollars
Right.
of technology at that time, which was more than the Manhattan Project or the nuclear
Right.
bomb.
and by the end of World War II, so 45, they're basically working on jet engines. Like, there's a few
Right.
jets.
Well, yeah,
out there.
Hitler was doing that.
Yeah. So like that was like jets were invented then,
Mm-hmm.
and then shortly after World War
Was
II,
it jets or was it just a
A
you slapped a
rocket?
person on a rocket and said,
Right.
good luck?
there was a few of those, I'm sure, in testing. So then a few years after that, then you have like commercial flights, and like
Mhm.
and then jets came in, and then I feel like since then nothing has changed. Besides, now people don't dress up like they're going to church on an airplane. Now, but the aircraft is
That's definitely not me.
Yeah.
I'm like the person that's in his
Oh, like,
shorts.
Putting on a suit and tie just to get on the tube.
Yeah, I'm going to look good for people I'm never ever going to see ever again in my life. No, thank you.
It's probably the best people to look good for. But changing that up, So I thought this was interesting. Is there was some satellite footage over China in kind of I think the Mongolia area.
Oh, before we go on to that,
No.
we do have new technology into flights and transportation.
Autopilot?
No,
What?
Elon Musk with his like Starship or whatever that he's creating.
Yeah.
Like if like they've been talking about like putting different platforms in like different continents. So like you could go
up and
into
down.
space and then back down and land over in like
Mm,
a couple hours instead of a couple days of flight, you
Right.
know?
but that's not out yet.
That's not out yet, but like you said, we're not progressing. It's like
Yeah.
we are progressing. And then like have you heard of the different technologies, or not technology, but like going to Mars?
Like Elon's rockets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when they go to colonize Mars,
Yeah.
they're going to ship a bunch of starships up into space and just sitting there. Then they're going to refuel them,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're going to ship them all off at the same time. It's going to be like 1,000 plus starships just going to Mars.
Wow.
That would be so cool to like see, especially if it was
Yeah.
at night. You're
Yeah.
just looking, it's like,
Although if they're going to Mars, it's probably like far enough where you barely wouldn't even see it.
well, I mean, it's in space, but just imagine seeing a bunch of just like different like stars
Yeah.
just popping up
That's crazy.
as it,
That'd be cool
and
to
then just
see.
like streaking through.
Is that a shooting star?
1,000 of them.
No, it's Starlink. But yeah, but see, even with that is with the Earth travel using his rockets,
Mhm.
where I see an issue, like that's awesome that you could 2 hours be on the other side of the Earth,
Mhm.
amazing. But I don't see people wanting to sign up like an airplane. It's gentle. You get on the airplane, it does its thing.
I know people that are just like death gripping.
Yes.
And
but-
sometimes you're just like, oh, okay.
Well, if it's shaking a little bit, but I mean, we're talking like 10, 9. Like, do you imagine grandma getting on a rocket? 8, and they're like,
I can
cheeks. Like, oh, that was worth the 2 hours. The grandma had a heart attack on the way over.
I can see some grandmas into that.
Some, like, so there's the aircraft people where there's like 1% that have a problem with airplanes that we live on today.
Okay.
Rockets, 99% of people would have a problem and 1% wouldn't.
Like, I think it would be worth doing it at least once.
It would be fun and terrifying.
Because it's an experience. Like, just imagine you get to travel from point A to point B like quicker than anybody else, and then you also get to experience space. It's like, I want a window seat.
Yeah. Could you
Just imagine being like in the
not
center
having-
pod and you just see somebody like out the window just looking.
And they purposely build things down so you can't see out. So you want to spend an extra 10 grand to sit on a window seat.
Right?
That's hilarious. Well, and what I think is, and it's kind of partaking to what we talk about frequently, is like money and the transfer of money, and like with cryptos, it is today, without the use of cryptos, it is faster to literally FedEx cash from one part of the world to another than it is to wire transfer with tradition, because
why do you
there's
think the CIA transfers cash to all these countries?
yeah, it's faster to FedEx. It just blows your mind because you're like, oh, wire transfer, it's over there in half a second or whatever. But it's like, no, because it has to go through all these steps, which is where the intro of cryptos. But I wasn't really gonna get into that today, but yeah, I don't know why it came up. But China.
Okay.
So
They need a Starlink base there too.
So in Inner Mongolia, I think I don't know if I said it.
Okay,
Inner
yes.
Mongolia. So in China, in Inner Mongolia, they have at one of their military bases, they have a schematic set up like roads and like targets basically exactly set up to how the Taiwanese presidential palace road is.
Mm.
So it's like, well, I guess who wouldn't
Fancy
know that they would
that.
be practicing? Yeah, it's just a little ditty of information that I found interesting. But another fun fact. So I'll have to look at my note on this one. There's this large in Thailand. So in Thailand, there's this large rock snake carved out of rock.
Okay.
It looks so when you look at it, it doesn't look like it's like carved, like it's
Okay.
like well made, and it's super old, or they don't really know how old it is, type of thing, because you can't carbon date rock. But that being said, it's like so well preserved. It looks like a real snake has been like
Petrified.
and is there, but it's massive. It's like in a Grand Canyon type of thing. It's smaller than the Grand Canyon, but a huge canyon.
Yeah.
Like you could walk through the canyon, and it's like the snake in the canyon, and then we're talking like 2 feet from the wall of the canyon to the snake. It looks like the snake curled up in this canyon, basically. Like you imagine.
Yeah.
a little
I guess
crevice.
Genghis Khan got bored and had people
Yeah.
carve him a snake.
But he has the whole thing, and then the head of it, and even just like how good the scales on the snake that is carved. Because like when you look at a real snake, the scales change once it gets like around its eyes. They get smaller and more like
Detailed.
like hexagonal.
Okay.
Anyway, and it's like to a T perfect.
Hmm.
And it's like, is that a real snake? They got petrified. That's absolutely massive.
Like 20 foot long or like 200
1,000
feet
feet long. Like we're talking huge. Like a house wide, you know? Anyway,
Wow.
that's why it would be terrifying.
That's why they built the Great Wall of China.
Yes.
Actually, interesting thing
Yeah.
about the Great Wall of China.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that it was built to keep Chinese people out instead of
Yeah.
the Russians out?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, and kind of more in regards to, I guess, Tartaria.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, how the defense side is towards China,
Yeah.
not away.
I've heard that from a couple different people too.
Right.
So
Well, and that's a fact. You look at it and you can see left is China, right is not China, or whatever.
yeah, it's like all these things that you're told in your history books, like the pyramids were for tombs,
Yeah.
but they've never found any bodies or anything
Or
of that nature.
hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, there are stories for all of the stuff that go from super far-fetched to not as far-fetched. I don't know which of them are true, but I feel like it's looking like more and more that the traditional story that you were taught is definitely not true.
Like, just imagine, I can see, like, the British general comes in to Egypt, and they're like, we conquer this land, what are those? And they're like, well, we can tell them whatever we want, we hate them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't go in them, they're sacred. And like, we're going in them then.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. They're tomb.
Right?
That's crazy, yeah. Well, and kind of going into that is, you know how we were talking about how not governments, sorry, more like elites.
Okay.
The conspiracy is elites hide the truth in movies, or like they
They
feel,
display the truth in movies and stuff like that, but it's kind of cryptic and you don't know what movie it is until it is.
Right, and it almost like eases their conscience
And
or
it
something. 'cause
justifies them doing it
yes.
because they told you about it.
Right. So have you seen the new movie coming out about the moon?
Oh, the Obama movie?
No.
No.
So there's a new movie coming out with, is it Scarlett Johansson? She's like Black Widow in the
Okay.
Marvel. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's about going to the moon.
So they actually had a white woman play the Black Widow.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
So this movie is about the moon, or like going to the moon, like Apollo
Okay.
11 and all that.
Yeah.
And the premise of the whole movie is they hire this lady who's like a marketing expert. And basically, her job is to sell going to the moon.
Okay.
And so, like, she's like raising money for them, like, and selling to the public why this is an amazing thing. But in the process, so there's only trailers out so far. So, like, we don't know the whole story yet. In it, it shows how they're basically planning for a contingency just in case the rocket doesn't go. They're also filming it in Hollywood, the whole thing. Which doesn't help add to the conspiracy that the moon.
So when Elon Musk goes, like, shoots his Dogecoin to the moon,
yeah,
and then we can watch that film with the film of
Hollywood.
Hollywood to see how close it is.
It looked entertaining though, because like she's in charge of now this video production, and then the who do you call the person that runs the movie on set? Not the editor.
The director?
The director. The director's all, we need a new astronaut. We need a new Apollo guy. Like, he's not working out. We need a new one. And like, no, you have to use it. But anyway, I'll show you the trailer later. But yeah, you guys should go check out the trailer. I wish I knew the name of the movie. Just search.
So what does this have to do with the elites warning us?
Sorry. It's more...
Yeah, we're doing an ad for them, and we're not even getting the point across.
Not even getting paid either. The whole thing was basically, is this their way of showing us that, yeah, we didn't go to the moon, and yeah, it was filmed. The whole thing was filmed in a Hollywood lab or whatever. Studio.
Maybe.
I'm tired of calling studios
Right.
labs. But, yeah, this might be my
Well, I
lab.
mean, labs are meant for testing, right?
That's true.
So were you wrong?
So, but I think the moral of the movie is, oh, this was a contingency. They did go to the moon and we did film all that. But just in case it blew up, we still have footage that they went to the moon.
Maybe.
So that's, I think, where that whole angle's going. But it sure isn't helping the conspiracy of, well, that never happened.
Yeah.
I keep picturing old footage on the moon and like people hopping around, and it's like they are so on a tether. Like it's so obvious. But a fun fact that I learned was kind of interesting is do you know why like casino floors, like it has that ugly carpet? You know, like hotel carpeting? It's very messy.
Okay.
Anyway, it's very busy and messy and kind of ugly. It's basically, it's this whole marketing thing.
A marketing thing.
So basically, they, let's keep saying
Just walked in and be mesmerized. Ooh.
No, it's to get your eyes off of the floor because it's ugly and weirds out your eyes to on the gaming tables.
Okay.
And then,
Is that why they're always so ugly?
yes.
Man.
So
I'm not a
then,
huge fan of casinos.
yeah, they're disgusting in pretty much every way. They stink. They're, yeah, that's everything. But
And
and
then the games they have to play on the slots. Like, it's like I don't need to risk money. I can just go on my phone and be like, "Here you go, 2-year-old. Go
Yeah.
play on my phone." And it's the same games.
yeah,
And then you just add money,
right.
and then you see a 6-year-old being like, "Boop."
Well, yeah, exactly. And most of the time, older individuals are the ones that come. But that
They're
going
Popeye. It's their
Go-
workout.
going along with the flooring in that is Disneyland. Main Street, or the main thing, is painted this like red color, and the whole reason for that is for your eyes to get, I can't remember, like some receptor in your eye that senses that color gets tired from seeing that so much that it causes the receptors that see green to like work overtime, and then you start seeing the beautiful greenery and it gets brighter. So then you're like, wow, this is a beautiful place.
Interesting.
It's so weird how it works. And like,
So when they lay out the red carpet, they're really intending for you to look at the green.
or the people, yeah, which are little green men, not just up. So then another thing, like in large traffic areas that they expect like a ton of people walking through, sometimes malls and so forth,
Okay.
they have the checkered red, black and white checkered tiles, which is made for you to feel off kilter a little bit. Which when you feel off kilter, you tend to walk faster, so it gets people moving through. And then
really thought this thing through.
right, and in retail space, so like your Walmarts and stores, they put carpet in areas where they want customers to linger and kind of shop around and like look at new items.
Is that why Walmart is just flat concrete? Just
Yes.
come in, come out. We don't want you to look at
All
anything.
checkered. And then in areas where they sell like comforters and pillows and everything like that, they want very hard, stark flooring because they want you to see the pillow and be like, oh, this looks so soft. Because if it was in an area with carpet, you would be comparing it to the area feels comfortable.
Yeah.
This pillow doesn't seem as soft.
Interesting.
Whereas like it's concrete flooring. You're
Is
like,
that why you always want
"Ah."
to buy a pillow at Costco?
Yeah, that's why they do so well. Dog beds sell amazing at Costco. But yeah, like that part of like shopper marketing is so interesting to me.
I'm glad someone finds
But-
it interesting.
Well, isn't that cool? It's like you can like change people's behaviors by simply things that they can't control.
Right?
So,
Like the red carpet.
yeah, exactly like red carpet. But
They want you to linger on the red carpet as you overload your senses and look at the green beauty.
thank you for joining us for Conspiracy Crypto Pirates. Please like and subscribe.